I'm going to need you to frame me up. You're going to have to just bounce me back up. Hey, order. Well, Alright, hey, I'm going to need a little help. So when I come live, no, this is you being a baseball game. Alright. You're gonna go How accurate is this lineup? I'm not talking about having this, I'm just talking about yeah, that's good. I don't know why it says 34. So the schedule is free. Alright, fellas. Frame me up real quick. And actually, Aaron, you can plan around the restaurant, okay? So take away the graphic, and we're rolling. Okay, yeah. All right. Welcome into the Erie Tiger Network, everyone. We are live here from the Dugout Grill for a baseball season opening show. You can see the dugout is full of Erie Tiger Network baseball players, and we have a great show planned for you here tonight. It is just less than a week away from the first pitch here for opening day. And speaking of the schedule and being less than a week away, that was the first thing we wanted to talk about today. We're going to have some player interviews later throughout the show. We're going to bring Coach Dillinger on. We're going to talk about some key contributors here. But we are live here on the Erie Tiger Network in a unique show, live from a restaurant. We haven't done that in my time on the Erie Tiger Network. That was kind of the dream from the start. So kind of coming full circle here. But let's go ahead and look at that schedule here as we take a peek. And the Tigers will open up at Loveland High School on the 13th, where they'll take on the Red Wolves. And then the Tigers, they are heading down to Arizona for a slate of games. They will take on, 4 different teams in Arizona all together over spring break. And then they'll come home, and it will be the home opener as they take on Ralston Valley, the Mustangs. We'll see Denver North, Centaurus, Greeley West will round out the month of March. And then we start to get into some league play here. We'll talk about the new league here in a second, but Monarch, Fairview, at Brighton, at Silver Creek, the big rivalry that everyone is talking about, which is the Broomfield game, and then home against Holy Family, out to Frederick and Douglas County, home against Niwot, Legacy, Skyline, Longmont, Meade, and Horizon will round out the schedule for this Tiger baseball team. We have a lot to talk about here tonight. We are going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we will be live on the Erie Tiger Network with our first player interview of the night on the ETN. Get you to do this? I've always wanted to do stuff like this, but we're live. Welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. Brandon Bird here, and joining us for the first interview of the night is Ronan Ward. And Ronan, first of all, it was a year ago, and we saw you trying to rehab your way back from injury. I guess walk us through that timeline and that process.
So late April, I found out that I tore my ulnar collateral ligament in my elbow. Some know it as the UCL. I compare it to the ACL of the elbow in that sense. Got surgery early May, and then recovered all summer. Was prepared just enough in time for football, and I've been good ever since.
You know, I remember seeing you back in the spring, and I think the thought was you weren't going to be available for the football season, at least the first part of it, and you got way ahead of schedule. You know, why were you so far ahead of schedule compared to the initial timeline?
So first of all, I wanted to shout out my family and my physical therapy guy named Vince. He's just down on Brick Street. He helped me a lot with the recovery process, and really means a lot. And also, it's the mindset. The mind is a very powerful thing, and if you think you'll get something done, I believe you can. And I feel like that strengthened me to be where I am today.
Last year in an injury-shortened season, still second team all-conference, 3-year varsity player. What's the mindset going into this year?
All out. I don't know if I'm going to be playing sports ever again after this year. That runs through my brain all the time, and so I want to give it all I got, not just for myself, but for this program. So,
one of the big pressures of high school athletes is the idea of playing college sports. Obviously that weighs on your mind. Are you more baseball, football? What are you hoping to potentially latch on to?
I don't necessarily look at it like that. I look at it like where I want to be. And I think the sports will present themselves. I don't want to put that extended pressure on myself that, hey, I have to do this, because at the end of the day, it's not a job. It's something that I enjoy to do. And so I feel like if I'm just pressuring myself that, hey, I need to go to college to play baseball, I'm not going to perform to my expectations. And so I just think about it, hey, I have the ability to go to college. why don't I just take advantage of that opportunity, and then I'll eventually, like I said, the opportunity will present itself.
Awesome. We're here live at the Dugout Grill. Ronan Ward joining us here live on the broadcast. Ronan, you'll be starting the season out at shortstop. Shortstop was always one of my favorite positions to play in the middle of the infield, a little bit more action. A lot of times that shortstop is that captain on the infield. Same thing, you're captain of a football team, captain kind of on of the infield here. What sets you apart from a leadership standpoint? Why do you like to lead, I guess is the better question.
That's a really good question. I don't think I've ever been asked that before. I like to lead because it's at the end of the day, it's not a popularity contest. You want people to follow you. And my ideal style of leadership, I was very uptight, I feel like, in the football season because, hey, we had this expectation coming off the state championship that we have to do this. But, in baseball, I feel like you need to be, I'd say, a little more laid back, just in the sense that, hey, like, it's a more relaxed game. And if you have the ability to just have the same energy every single game, every single pitch, others will follow that. And I like the leadership part of it because, like I said, the people follow, and it's just that's what I like most about it.
We're about to get demonetized here.
I was a little starstruck right there.
Yeah. What, in terms of playing that shortstop position, what's kind of your favorite thing? Do you like making that throw, going toward third base? Do you just like turning the double play? What do you love about playing shortstop?
The thing I love about playing shortstop is it's not a specific base, right? So you have first base, you have second base, you have third base. Like at shortstop, you can kind of roam and do whatever you want. Like, and just not like that, but you have the ability to go take the ball from other positions, right? So if there's a play at second base, you have the angle. Play at third base, you may have the angle there. So it's just kind of the freelance style of that position and being able to always touch the ball.
Awesome. In terms of your hitting approach, was that one thing that, were you still able to keep up a little bit of that through the rehab process, or was that like starting over like new as well?
No, not at all. Hitting's here. It's all a mindset, right? The more that you overthink, your results, you'll see the results. And so my sophomore year, I struggled at times because I was overthinking, like, hey, I'm tweaking my swing. Like, my approach when I get up to the plate is I'm going to hit the ball as hard as I can, and I'm not going to let the pitcher get me out because this is my box and I'm the hitter. Like, this is my box.
All right, sounds like you should have played some golf too. That's what.
Yeah, you shouldn't see my golf swing.
That was Ronan Ward. We're going to take another time out here on the Erie Tiger Network. When we come back, we will talk to Maddox Burnett, we'll talk to Taylor McMaster, and we'll also talk to Coach Dillinger here on the Erie Tiger Network. And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. Brandon Bird here with Taylor McMaster, one of the senior leaders of this baseball team. Taylor committed to Southeast Community College for baseball. We get to share the mic again. We've had the pleasure of doing that before. You've had a lot of stuff going on over the course of the last year. One scene films, obviously playing a lot of baseball outside of just the high school season. How do you manage all those things at once and still being a high school kid?
What, there?
Yeah, you're good.
Honestly, just I'm getting my stuff done throughout the day, and then whatever time I have left, just having to be able to have free time, be able to have a time to be a student. Just nice and fun. And senior year, nice and easy.
4-year varsity player. That doesn't happen too often here at Erie High School. What lessons did you learn in those first couple of years that you still kind of carry with you today?
I was lucky enough to be able to learn from really good leaders my freshman year, like Sam Stem, Holden Pantier, Dylan Alcoof. All those guys really taught me how to become a great leader, and that's something I'm able to translate on to this year as a senior. I want to be able to have these younger guys take some of the things that I learned and be able to take it on to when they're older as a senior. They can do it for the younger guys then.
Last year, first team all-conference player. When were you kind of hoping to make that college decision?
It was around, I got hot at the probably midway point through the season. I was struggling at the beginning, but able to make that adjustment at the plate was really my big thing. I played really well defensively, and then the bat came alive halfway through the season. And my goal has always been to play college baseball my entire life. So, when I was younger, I got to the point where I'm like, I'm going to play college baseball, and that was always the goal.
Last year, 10 and 13 overall as a team. A lot of players coming back. A lot of players. I mean, you guys are out there grinding at the wee hours of the morning. I know that's a little bit of Coach Dillinger, his influence in the early rise and shine grind. Has that changed expectations? Has it changed the paradigm of this program going into this year?
Well, I'd say last year we did the same thing, 5:30 a.m. workouts in the morning. There's something different about this program this year. There's something different about what we have. And I think it's going to be really special. I think the first couple weeks we've had so far, it's a really special group we have.
Sorry for some of the mic feedback that you might be hearing. In fact, we might want to disconnect the Bluetooth from our computer here. It was picking up our mics. We'll disconnect our computer here. So let's do this. Let's take a quick time out on the ETN. We'll disconnect our computer from the stereo system here, and we'll come back and we'll finish up this interview. And welcome back into the Erie Tiger Network. We're going to double mic it here, Taylor, so we have a little bit of our show audio going on. We're here live at the Dugout Grill here tonight for this baseball preview show. A lot of baseball boys here tonight. Boys, are you excited for this season? All right, I think we were talking a little bit before the break about just kind of your level of excitement and the renewed sense of optimism in this program and the waking up early and the rise and shine, and how has that impacted the expectations coming into the year?
I just think everybody, we worked our butts off this off season, and we did it last year too. But I think this year, I think there's something different about this team. There's a different mindset about this program that we didn't have last year. That we're taking in, we're kind of building on a tradition, and that's how Erie Tiger baseball is.
One of the things I think always when you see really good high school baseball teams is you have a really solid middle infield. We just talked with Ronan Ward. You like second base. Second base was always my favorite when I was coming up. Why do you love playing second so much?
Growing up I played short, and then my freshman year came in. I got moved to second, and it's special to me to play second. That's what my dad played as well. My dad was a second baseman, so be able to wear number 2, be able to play second base, just kind of taking after my dad, it's pretty special to me.
We talked a little bit about just kind of your commitment and what stands out about Southeast Community College that you're excited about.
I think just the program they've been building over there for the last couple of years. They've been really well. They have a really good program there. I love the coaches. They'll push you, and they'll get you to a big school once you're done there.
I gotta ask before we let you go. We teased it at the beginning. The one scene films.
Yep.
You and Jelly done a lot of work on the ETN behind the scenes for that. What has that been like here in your senior year?
It's something that Jelly brought up to me a while ago, and I thought it was a great idea. I was like, Jelly, if you want any help with it, I'd love to. And that's been one of my favorite things about my senior year. It's just helping out with the scene films. If you haven't go watch our documentary, What's Next, on YouTube by the Scene Films, it's about the Erie Tiger football program here. Definitely go check it out.
I'm known for having a little bit of an ATN mic problem, but you know what? Hopefully we picked you up fairly decent. But Taylor, I got to tell you, you've done a great job all year on the ETN. You're a pleasure to have in class. Thank you for coming on. Everyone, that was Taylor McMaster here at the baseball team. We're going to take another timeout here on the ETN. When we come back, we'll have our next guest after a timeout. Oh, you've been switching? Okay, that's right. Check 1, 2. Okay, we should be fine. I got a little scared. And welcome back in here at Erie Tiger Network. We're here with Maddox Burnett, and Maddox, a pretty storied pitching career here so far for the Tigers. You're going to start on the mound this year. You're going to play a little bit of infield, a little bit of outfield. You're going to do everything. But first of all, big commitment that you made, BYU. Walk us through the process and what that was like.
I mean, yeah, it was obviously hard. I didn't have any expectations going into it. I just wanted to get some college interest. But my goal's always been to play both sides of the ball as long as I can. And to get an offer from a Big 12 school to do that as an infielder and a pitcher, it was just something I couldn't pass up on. And it was just like being at home.
And we've talked to some seniors here tonight. You're not quite there yet, but in terms of kind of the experience that you drew upon from last year, what are you taking from you last year as you go into this season?
I'm just going to keep the competitiveness. Obviously, I think we need to bring that, to a higher level this year. And then, I missed a big chunk of the season last year injured, so I'm just super excited to be out on the field with the boys for the whole season.
How does everything feel? You feel ready to start the season fresh?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 100%. I'm ready to go.
Well, I always ask pitchers this, and maybe our culture cares a little bit too much about this. What are you hitting on the gun these days?
On Saturday during the scrimmage, I hit a new PR of 93. But I mean, I can't do that without my catcher, without my teammates, without my strength coach, without all my coaches. But I'm hoping to get it a little higher than that.
All right, I love to hear that. When you're not on the mound, you're kind of a little bit of a Swiss Army knife for a utility player.
Yeah.
If you're not pitching, where do you like to play the most?
I love me some third base, and I love me some center field. I like having command in the outfield for sure, and then I like playing the hot corner.
And the hot corner, I was always maybe a little too scared. Like I was going to get hit with a line drive or something. So that always, I think, takes a little bit of guts to play that hot corner. We've talked to the other two players. The mindset of this program really seems different coming into this year. 10-13 last year, but seems like you guys are up before the crack of dawn every single morning. How have you seen that kind of change this program?
Yeah, for sure. Like last year, it kind of just seemed like we were walking through the motions for sure. Like we had talent and we should have been a lot better, but we never really bought into it. And like since morning workouts started, our team has definitely established the culture of like wanting to be good and like improve on last year and hold each other accountable.
The Erie Tiger Network launched in 2015. In the spring of 2015, there was a man by the name of Kyle Leahy who pitched for the Erie Tigers. We've had a lot of good pitchers come through. Ultimately, what's your aspirations in this sport?
I want to make it to the bigs for sure, but just taking it step by step, knowing what I have to do to get to the next level, that's the first step, and then getting my chance to play on the field at the next level is the next step, and just take them step by step. The game's hard, no reason to make it harder by dreaming too big. Obviously keep your dreams big, but know what you have to do to get there.
Awesome, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone get up for Maddox Burnett. Here, the starting pitcher here to start this season. We're going to take another timeout. When we come back, we'll be back with Coach Dillinger here on the Erie Tiger Network. And welcome back in Erie Tiger Network. We're joined here with Coach Dillinger, and Coach, second season, I believe, is the head coach here for the Tigers. One thing, I've talked about this with all three players, but I'm just amazed because every time I interact with the baseball players, whether they're in my Erie Tiger Network class, whether they're coming to my room during passing period, they've already been up early grinding. How does that mindset that you've kind of are hoping to instill, how have you seen the team really take to that this offseason?
Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment for our freshmen as they come into that environment for the first time. I've been here since 2019. We've run it the same every year I've been here. It's kind of a rite of passage of sorts for our freshmen at this point. They've done a great job with it. Our upperclassmen this year have been fantastic, getting them in line, getting them prepared for what they need to do and how to get through those 6 to 8 weeks. And honestly, this year, I feel like it was our best year overall from a culture perspective, from a team camaraderie perspective. They've all done a great job.
Yeah, just every time around the baseball kids, it seems like they're bought in this year. And, one of the things, 10-13 last year, I think at least from an outsider's perspective, it feels like the expectations are much higher this season. how do you kind of preach to keep those high expectations?
Sure. I think last year we started off well. We started off as a team very well, but as some of these other guys alluded to, started to die off a little bit, and that's part of instilling that culture that we've talked about. We talk about all the time that culture eats strategy for breakfast. You can have all the guys. This is a team game, but there's a lot of individual actions that affect the outcome, and they've done a fantastic job of keeping that momentum this year. We hope. And we've made a lot of adjustments as a coaching staff as well. We've listened to the feedback from the players, and we've addressed things a little bit differently. But it's very fair to say that these guys have all bought in at this point.
A pretty cool event here tonight, Coach. What kind of went into deciding to do this event? I thought it was cool that you asked us to tag along and do a little show here, but what kind of goes into running an event like this before the year starts?
Sure, there's a lot that goes into it. And I gotta send a huge thank you out to our parent council. We have a great 4 parents that are part of our parent council that put all of this together. They help get us ready for Arizona, team dinners, amongst other things. They've done a lot. But the Dugout's been a partner of ours for the last year now. After home games last year, we came down, celebrated with them. Not always celebrating, unfortunately, but they've been a partner with us for the last couple of years, and they've done a great job. So we really appreciate their time.
You mentioned that trip to Arizona. That's kind of been a staple of this program, and really a staple of Colorado high school baseball teams. Going down to Arizona during spring break, getting some games, and how valuable is that to a program in Colorado?
I think it's very valuable. Obviously, we get out of the weather that we deal with here, but from a competition standpoint, last year we had 3 games down there, and they weren't the best competition. We asked specifically this year for a tougher schedule, and they didn't hold back. We've got 4 very difficult games down in Arizona. We're looking forward to the competition. We feel good about it. We'll have 1 game before we head down there at Loveland. But we're excited to get down there again. It's another opportunity for the team to come together as a team, spending the time in the hotel, traveling down there. There's a lot that goes into it. We're excited for it.
When you think of kind of crafting your program, crafting the team, trying to instill a certain culture, what are like the 2 or 3 characteristics or traits that you feel like, hey, we're going to hang our hat on these?
I think the biggest thing that I preached to the players this year